Okay, so let's go through the corrections of Monday's homework. And we were being asked to find the value of h in each of these triangles. In the first one, we have to use the fact that this triangle is a right angle triangle to find the area. So the first thing we're going to do is find the area, and that's going to be a half the base by the perpendicular height here, which is 4 by 6, which is 24 square units. And then we can use, now we're going to use this as the base, and we can say a half by 10 by this height here, this perpendicular height, must also give me 24. So 5h must be 24, and h must be 24 divided by 5, which is 4.8 centimetres. So 4.8 centimetres is what we have there. I hope that makes sense. Just let me know if it doesn't. Part 2, same idea again. So here I've got this base first, and I can work out the area. So the area, move this down a bit, the area is going to be a half by the base by the perpendicular height, which is 6 by 14. You know what? I'm just going to do that in the calculator because my times tables aren't the best. 84. So we've got 84 is my area, 84 centimeters squared, but I don't need to write down the units. And then if I use this as the base, as the other base, a half by 16, half by 16 by h is also going to give me 84. So 8h is 84, and h is 84 divided by 8, and that is 10.5 centimeters. Finally, part 3, same idea again. I'm going to use this height and this base to find the area. So the area is a half by 24 by 18, which I think is 231, but let's work it out. So it's 12 by 18, 216. See, this is why I shouldn't do things in my head. 216 centimeters squared. And now using this base, so a half by 20 by h will be 216. So 10h is equal to 216, and h is equal to 21.6 centimeters. Okay, so the three of those all done by first finding the area by using one pair of sides or one base and height, and then using that area answer and the other base to find a different perpendicular height. Now, I just wanted you to use the formula for the area of parallelograms. It's very straightforward. It's just that the area is the base multiplied by the perpendicular height. Same as the triangle formula, except we don't half it. So in this case, the area is going to be 8 by 12, which is 96 centimeters squared. In this one, it's going to be 9 by 14. 9 by 14. So 9 by 14, 126 centimeters squared. This one is going to be, here's my perpendicular height, and this is the base. So they're just checking that you know which side to use. I don't use the 10 here, for example. So this is going to be 11, my perpendicular height, by 13, which is 143 centimeters squared. Okay, so if there's any small bit of that you don't understand, that you got wrong and you don't know where you went wrong, just let me know. The second part of the homework then talked about two different parallelograms. So A, B, C, D. Let's identify the ones they're talking about first. A, B, C, D. I'm going to outline this parallelogram here. Here's the four sides of the parallelogram. They're going to be asking me, why are the two parallelograms equal in area? So before I do anything else, I'm going to note that the base of this parallelogram is the length DC, and its perpendicular height is the H that's marked in here, that H there. The second parallelogram is DCEF. So DCE, put this back into view, EF. So this parallelogram is the second parallelogram that we're talking about. And what you can see is that they share a side in common here. DC is the base of both of those parallelograms. So in my second parallelogram, my base is DC and my perpendicular height is still the H that's marked in here. So in terms of giving my explanation that I'm asked over here, use the diagram to explain why the two parallelograms are equal in area. Well, area for a parallelogram is base times perpendicular height, and both parallelograms have a base equal to DC and a perpendicular height equal to H. So therefore they have the same area. And there's my explanation. You wouldn't have had to do all the drawing on the diagram that I did there. That was just to help me explain it to you guys here. Now, in question 8, the area of the parallelogram is 40 centimeters squared. If DB is equal to 15 centimeters, so this distance here, D to B, is 15 centimeters, we want to find AE, this height here. It's called H because it is a perpendicular height. Now, I mentioned to you back on Monday that a parallelogram can be divided into two equal triangles. So if I consider the triangle ABD from my diagram, okay, this keeps going off the screen, then its area must be half of the area of the parallelogram. So consider the triangle ABD. The area must be half of the 40 that we were told about here, which is 20 centimeters squared. So I know the base and I'm looking for the perpendicular height. That's what's happening here. And I can say that half the base by the perpendicular height is equal to 20. And therefore 7.5 H is 20 and H is 20 divided by 7.5, which is 20 divided by 7.5, 8 over 3. 8 over 3 centimeters. You can change it to a decimal to 2 decimal places if you want to, but it's easier to just leave it as a fraction. Okay, so I hope that's clear enough, and that's the kind of work that you might be asked to do with triangles and parallelograms. Thank you.